A tap is a tool that cuts threads into a hole so that a bolt can be screwed into it. While they look similar to bolts, taps are typically made of high-speed steel that have long channels ground into the sides, leaving gaps in the threads. As the tap turns into a hole, these channels allow chips that are carved out of the material to break free and be ejected. Taps come in three main styles. Plug is the most common tap for general purposes. It has a slight taper, but allows for threading almost to the bottom of a blind hole. Taper taps start narrow and then taper to a full thread width. This means it's fairly easy to start when threading into a hole, but they may need to be turned farther in order to form a fully threaded hole. Bottoming taps are for forming threads in the full length of a blind hole. It's recommended to use a taper or plug tap first to form the initial threads. If you're not sure what thread count a bolt is, you can use a screw pitch gauge to match one of its blades to the thread profile. Since taps are just bits, they need a tool to turn them. The trusty tap wrench is specifically made for this. Insert the square end of the tap into the adjustable jaws of the tap wrench and twist the handle that tightens the jaws. Line up the tap of the hole, making sure that it's completely perpendicular to the material. Apply slight pressure to the tap and begin turning the wrench. You should feel the cutting threads begin to catch, so double check that the tap is straight and do not force the tap or it may break. After you've made a couple of full revolutions in the material, you can stop applying pressure. From here, after every full turn of the tap, give it a half turn in reverse. This will break the chips off and clean out the thread. Repeat this until the tap is completely through the material.
But how do you know what type and size of thread you need? In North America, and Canada in particular, there are two main thread series in use, SAE and metric. The SAE thread pitches are measured in TPI, or threads per inch. Metric thread pitches are expressed as the distance between thread crests, so a thread pitch of 1 millimeter would mean that there is 1 millimeter of space between the crests of two adjacent threads. If you're unsure of the thread pitch, be sure to use a thread pitch gauge to properly identify the threads you're working with. And in case you're really stumped, each tap and die kit comes with a chart displaying corresponding die and drill bit sizes for every tap.